Hello, and welcome to the Tarot Party. It's wonderful to have you. Oh my goodness, it's a beautiful evening here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I couldn't resist being on my front porch. And I wanted to invite you, so to speak, to come hang out with me on my front porch. Hi, Jennifer. Wonderful to have you. I love doing these parties because I love to share with you this amazing intuitive tool. Hi, Alicia. Great to have you. I know you have cards as well. Yay, you're here. Oh, this is so exciting. Bam. Hello and welcome. Fabulous to have you. You're all hanging out on my front porch with me, and we're enjoying the evening, the beautiful sunshine, and the warmer weather here. It's just great, not muggy yet, so I am glad that you are here with me. And tarot, oh my goodness, this is one of my favorite intuitive tools to start speaking this language of inner guidance, learning how to trust our instincts and learning what's intuition and what isn't. I had an amazing call from a client of mine, and she was just asking me, how do I know when it's my intuition versus me just kind of getting some strange feeling or worrying about something unnecessarily or fear kicking in. This is an important piece of what I teach and I share with my students. Hi, Deanna. Great to have you. Yay, Pam. All right, excellent. I will pull for you, most definitely. So Pam, I said I was going to pull 3 cards, but oh my gosh, I love doing this and I love teaching others how to do this. So I will definitely pull a card for you. So I'm going to give it another moment to welcome in some more friends. And I just want to briefly touch upon intuition and how cards can be a great tool to help you learn this language. So for example, I had a client who contacted me and she went on a feeling with an old job, right? She thought, this is a good job for me. The woman's saying one thing who's hiring me. She's promising me the world on a platter kind of thing. She took the job, my client, only to discover that what she was promised absolutely did not come into fruition. And she was really thrown by that, my client. She felt like, oh my gosh, how am I going to trust my instincts ever again? You know, how am I going to connect to intuition? Hi, Lori, great to have you. And what ended up happening was she came to me and I taught her how to use a tool, the pendulum in that case, but you could use cards as well to say, all right, is this my intuition? What's the feeling? What's the energy going on here? Because here's the thing about cards that I love so much is that you have free will. The power has always been within you, just like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, right? She didn't need the Tin Man and the lion, you know, and the courage and the Wizard of Oz. It was always within her. But those friends served as great reflections and reminders of how to find her pathway back home. That's what the cards are like. The cards serve as a pathway, a friend. You can think of it like the telephone. It helps open up the lines of communication so you can talk with your angels, your guides. You can connect to that inner knowing and really learn to speak your intuitive language. So with that being said, knowing that the cards are just a tool, when you read, the way that I want to invite you to think about it, especially as you're formulating your questions tonight, is that there are different tools for different jobs. And yes, there are some tools that are very appropriate for yes, no type of questions. That would be like a pendulum or muscle testing. You can use cards to ask a yes or no question. You know, people love to say, oh, will you fall in love with me? Will I get the job? You know, will this happen? Will I do that? And here's the thing about questions like that. When you ask a question in that way, you're giving your power away. You're saying, oh, tell me, what is my fate? What is my destiny? That's like sitting back and just floating down the river, which can be nice. Hi, Nitu. Great to have you. Me too. I hope I'm saying your name properly. It's beautiful. So when we're asking questions, if you ask a yes or a no question, especially from the cards, that's like using a hammer to open a pickle jar. Yeah, sure, it'll get it open, but it's really too much. You don't need that much intensity and force. You can use something else that would be a better tool. The cards are wonderful for in-depth questions. And when you ask, think of the cards as giving you the weather report. It's kind of like turning on the television in the morning and saying, what kind of weather should I expect today? Oh, my boss is going to be cranky. Oh, great. All right. Like, I kind of saw that one coming. So then you can pull a card and say, all right, what can I do to make the most of today with my cranky boss, right? You know, what can I do today to be able to get my work done and stay off his radar or her radar? And you pull a card. So it's about you engaging with the energy that you need to do. So Alicia, you say, I like to ask, what do I need to look out for today or this week exactly? Or what should I think about for this situation? Beautiful. Yes. When you're learning how to read cards, it's wonderful to pull a card a day. And you just say, what's the energy that I need to know about today? Hi, Elaine. Wonderful to have you. And you can pull a card and you say, oh, the star reversed. So the energy that you might need to know about is any place where you're losing hope or faith, where it might feel like it's been such a struggle that, you've had it. You're just kind of ready to throw in the towel. So you're aware of that. So cards can be read in a variety of different ways. The tarot cards, I'm just kind of going through my deck, seeing, because some are upside down and some are right side up. The thing about the tarot cards is that it does take some time to learn. Yeah, there could be memorization involved, but there are techniques that I share, and then I'm going to go even in more depth in my intuitive energy adventure that will help guide my students who are in there with me. And P.S., if you didn't know yet, so Elaine and Alicia are in the program, but if you jump into the intuitive energy adventure before Saturday at midnight, I am offering a free private card reading for those who jump into the program before midnight on Saturday, June 1st, Eastern Time. I think we're daylight time now. But that's a value of $497, and it's really a nice, deep, in-depth reading. And I've got some goodies for you, those of you who are already in the intuitive energy adventure. So, all right, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pull cards for those who have jumped on. So let's see who, Jennifer, you were the first one, wanted to make sure, who popped on. So when I'm working with the cards, and hopefully that noise my neighbors do in their yard because it's so beautiful out, hopefully it's not too loud for you. But when you work with the cards, you want to clear the energy. And a nice quick way to do it is knock 3 times. So I'm just knocking on the cards 3 times and I'm shuffling. So what I'm going to invite you to do, Jennifer, is hold your question in your heart, whatever your question is, and I want to invite you to stay away from like the yes or no type questions, more along the lines of, what's the most important thing that I need to know about this situation? Like what Alicia was saying, or, can you give me insight onto this particular topic? Ooh, and one jumped out. I love it. So when cards jump out of the deck, that's a sure sign to pay attention. And it's the 8 of Swords. This is a fun one because it looks like at first, oh, she's trapped. She's surrounded by swords. She's all bound up. But here's the beautiful thing is that she's not trapped at all. Even though it seems like she's got all of this stuff around her, this like prison. Swords represent air or the mental realm, communication, our mind, our thoughts. And the idea of being bandaged is like you just can't see your way out. You're all bound up. You're all tied up by these thoughts that essentially are imprisoning you. And you can free yourself at any time. It's just a matter of wiggling out of these binds. They're very loose, and just slipping off the blindfold and realizing, oh, you can walk straight ahead. You're not trapped at all. So whatever your question centered around, Jennifer, know that it is a matter of shifting your thoughts. So taking a moment to say, where has a thought been replaying in my mind over and over and over that I need to pay attention to and be willing to let go so that I can move forward? All right. So yeah, let me know what's going on. All right. So Alicia and Pam. So Pam, I'm going to pull a card for you next because I know that you really want a card pulled. Okay. So Pam, I'm going to ask for you on your behalf that you hold the question in your heart, whatever is most important for you to know. And you can ask along the lines of, again, what's the most important thing I know about this situation? Or you can even ask, I'm going to see him. Oh, love that one. You're welcome, Jennifer. Or you can even ask, just avoiding those yes or no type questions. Because again, it's like using the hammer with the pickle jar. All right. So Pam, you're ready. I can tell. I can feel it. Okay, so I'm going to go with the Skype. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do that again. because the same card popped up for you. All right, so Pam, holding your question. What's the most important thing that Pam know about her question? Okay. All right, so interesting. Swords again, lots of swords tonight. So this is representing a battle or a fight you win, but it comes at a cost. And when you're looking at the situation that you're in, sometimes, you know how they say that phrase like, and it's escaping my mind right now, but the phrase that goes along the lines of like you may have won the battle, but you didn't win the war, or, you have to, pick and choose your battles. That's what it was. Thank you. Took me a moment. So picking and choosing your battles, realizing when it's time to lay your sword down and just walk off the field because the cost isn't worth it. So whatever's going on right now for you, Pam, you'll come out ahead, you'll win, but it comes at a cost. And you have to ask yourself, is it worth that cost to you? So let me know how that's feeling for you. But just as a quick example, it might be like, okay, like here's a really fun, silly example. You get your daughter to agree to not wear the crazy outfit. They wear the regular outfit to school, but then they're grumpy with you the rest of the day, and it's a fight for everything else, right? So you won the battle, right, to get them to wear the right clothing or the ones that you want, but it came at a cost of upset in the relationship. Okay, so I hope that made sense. It's so great to have you. Okay, so I'm just seeing who's here. And all right, wonderful. Iris, hello. Fantastic to have you. So I'm going to pull a card for Alicia because you're on here next. Haha. So Alicia, as you're here, and everybody who jumps on, just give me a quick little shout out and hello that you're here. And I am pulling cards. Okay, so Alicia, I'm just going to ask on your behalf, what's the most important thing you know in this moment now? Okay, wow, it is a swords night. Lots and lots. So swords, it's interesting when there's a running theme that comes up, because what ends up happening, and I'm just seeing here, hiya Jane, great to have you. One of the things that ends up coming up with swords or repetition in the deck is there's a pattern, right? There's a collective consciousness that we're all tuning into in the great big database in the sky above. And there's a lot on our mind tonight. And Nine of Swords, what that's representing here, Alicia, is, and the thing that wakes you up at 3 a.m, right? This is the anxiety and the worry. So the most important thing right now is that whatever is causing anxiety and worry, ask yourself where you're resisting. Because sometimes when the anxiety and the worry hits, it's like, it's so overwhelming. Like when you have a fever and it's like, don't touch me, ow, that hurts. Sometimes the feeling can be so overwhelming, we just try to avoid it. And what ends up happening is that it builds into a bigger molehill and it's difficult to deal with. So a quick little short example story would be, I got the intuitive hit to basically go back and check an online portal. I'd filled out some information for restitution payment, long story. And everything was all kosher. They said, it's great. If anything's missing, we'll contact you. And I got the intuitive hit, go back and check on it. But I felt like, no. They told me they'd contact me if anything was off. I haven't heard from them. But I had this feeling that kept coming back over and over and over. And it got to the feeling of being uncomfortable, and I just didn't want to deal with it. So I ignored it the best that I could. So whatever's keeping you up at night, right, or whatever's kind of just like scratching, it just has been scratching, kind of bugging and busting your chops, take a moment and say, all right, what am I resisting? What am I trying not to feel? When you take that deep breath, when you shine the light on it, look at it, it'll take the power out of it, and you'll be able to sleep better at night. So let me know how that feels. All right, wonderful. I'm glad you're here. Okay, hi, Lori. I know I said hi to you. And Iris. Okay, fantastic. So Iris. Okay, so this is a great example of a question. So will you have financial and emotional ease soon? Okay, great. So this is an example of where we give our power away, where it's like, okay, universe, when will I catch that break, right? Well, the universe has definitely got your back, and the universe is cheering you on. It's out there applauding you, way to go. But it is a partnership. So if we're waiting for that knight on a white horse kind of thing, like the financial break or the emotional break and the financial windfall, we're going to miss it. if we're not engaged, if we're just kind of sitting back. It's like the story of the guy on the roof, right? It's flooding in his neighborhood and the floodwaters are rising. He's like, dear God, save me. And somebody comes by on a canoe and they're like, I'm here, like hop in the boat with me. And the guy's like, no, that's okay. God's going to save me. And the guy looks at him, the guy in the canoe, like, all right, whatever. And so then a guy comes back like in a speedboat and he says, hey, guy on the roof, hop in the speedboat. Come with me. I'll bring you to safe land. The guy on the roof goes, heck no, I'm totally fine. And God's going to save me. Next thing you know, like the speedboat guy goes off. He's like, all right, whatever. Helicopter comes by, throws down the ladder. Hop on the ladder. We're going to save you. Guy on the roof's like, no, God's going to save me. All right, next thing you know, the guy on the roof is now up in heaven. And he's like, God, why didn't you save me? And God's like, I sent a canoe, I sent a speedboat, and I sent a helicopter. What more could I do? Like, you actually had to grab on. So the way that you could phrase this question is, how can I best engage to have financial and emotional ease? And usually even just picking one, because it's really kind of like two big things. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and we'll say, what's the most, let's see, how can Iris engage? Oh, and here we go. It hopped right out. How can Iris engage to really tune into financial and emotional ease? So this is you tuning in. Like, what station do you have to dial into? What do you have to do? Collaboration, partnership. 3 of Pentacles. This is exciting. This is looking for a mentor, essentially, right? It's like, I've got these plans. I've got this idea, but I don't know. Am I crazy? And going and getting it checked out by an expert. So it's not fishing around with friends like, I don't know, should I do this? Like, should I invest, right? Like, you're not talking to your Aunt Sally, the gambler, when you're going to make financial investments, but you're going to maybe, the financial planner. So you'd be going to an expert looking for advice. So that's one of the best things that you can do. And the same thing, like many people go to therapists and they're looking for guidance. They've had emotional upsets and overwhelm and experiences, and they shift on a mental level, but then there's also the energetic level that needs to come up. All right. Hey, Ray, great to have you. Oh, Lori, excellent. All right, Elaine, I see you. Fantabulous. Okay. So Jane, all right, going to ask a question. Will everything turn out with your current business issue, and what new venture is on my horizon? Okay, excellent. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead with the current business issue, because this is going to end up being a longer reading, Jane, and we can talk more because you're in the intuitive energy adventure, so you get extra goodies because you're in there with me. So Jane, all right, will everything turn out with my current business issue? Again, so this is a little bit interesting, right? Because you're not just saying, will my dreams come true? You're actually engaging. I can tell that, right? You're engaging with your business and you want to know if you're on the right track. Are things going to unfold in a certain manner? So this is a nice way to phrase this kind of question. It's like, I'm doing the work, I'm engaging, I'm showing up, I'm curious, what is the potential outcome if I stay on this track? So the way that I would encourage you to phrase this question, Jane, is if you stay on your current track, if you keep doing things the way that you're doing, will everything turn out with your current business issue? And that's looking for a yes or no question. So I would even phrase it more so like, if you stay on your current track, what is the potential outcome of your current business issue? Okay, so let me know if that makes sense to you. Okay, cool. So let me just see. All right. Oh, you're welcome, Iris. So what comes up, Jane, is the Hangman. This is an interesting card. So what is the potential outcome if you keep doing everything the way that you're doing with your current business issue? This is interesting because this is kind of like the 8 of Swords. You have minor arcana and you have major. This is a major card. The minor arcana, if you think about it like weather, is saying, oh, it's going to rain today, Minor arcana, not a big deal, like a little bump in the road. Major arcana is like, okay, you want to sit up and take notice of this. This is more like, oh, there's a storm coming. You want to batten down the hatches. But I'm not saying a storm is coming with this card, by the way. What I'm saying is that it's kind of a bit of a stalemate. It's like a stagnant kind of waiting period. Oh, okay. So the other actual guidance that I'm getting for you with this card, because here's the thing, everybody's going to interpret the cards a little differently. Yes, it all has one general meaning, but this is designed to help me connect to my guides and angels and your guides and angels and tell you the message that's coming through. It's just the tool. So this might mean something completely different for someone else if they get it in a reading. So just keep that in mind, because as I'm saying this, there might be some stagnancy. If you stay on your current track, the potential outcome for this current business issue is kind of stagnation, a bit of a stalemate. Things don't move. He's kind of in limbo. It's out of his hands, but he's not exactly trapped, right? He's not bound up. He's just hanging upside down. So what can help is seeing things from a different perspective. He's upside down, 180-degree perspective. So if you're feeling like with your current business issue, as things unfold, if you're feeling like you reach a stalemate, it's stagnated, things aren't moving, shift your perspective, look at it a little bit differently, and you might end up finding that there might have to be something you're willing to sacrifice and let go of in order for the energy to move forward. So let me know how that feels. Heya, Deanna. Hi, Gail. Fantastic to have you. All right. Okay, Nito. Yes. And I will. Yeah. Hi, Alyssa. Fantastic. Okay. So let's see. Elaine, what is next for you in your journey? Fantastic. Yeah. So this again is kind of opening yourself to the possibility. It's like, if I stay on my current track, what's the potential outcome? Like if I head to Florida, what's the weather like? I love it. All right. So Elaine, for you, what's next for you in your journey? Ooh, 7 of Pentacles. I love this. So this is, it's not quite harvest time yet, but this guy's been working hard. Pentacles represents the physicality, represents earth. So what he's doing, what's next for you on the journey, is taking stock of what you've been, where you've been, what you've done, all of the things you've accomplished. These are physical things. I'm also picking up for you with this, like physical items that you've collected. You're kind of like, well, let me see, what have I done to manifest and create this particular physicality around me, right? Whether it's like knickknacks in the house or the house itself or the apartment but it's physical things. It's not thoughts, it's not feelings, it's things. You're taking stock of what have I amassed in my years of just being me and working and planning for the future. So this is a gardener essentially, or a farmer, looking back and saying, what's my yield? What's my crop from putting this kind of energy into this kind of work? What did I yield, right? Was it worth it? You know, should I grow this crop again? Should I do this again? Or should I do something completely new? But we have to reflect and look back so that we get the information that'll enable us to move forward with wisdom, right? So we don't repeat the same mistakes. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, fantastic. Lori, yay! Okay, Lori, what do you need to be aware of during this upcoming transition? Fantastic question. All right. So what does Lori need to be aware of during this upcoming transition? Okay, we'll see who pops out. You can always fan the cards. You can also kind of activate your hand chakras and run them over the card and see what's hot, so to speak, to pull. Aha, 2 of Swords. So what do you need to become aware of during this upcoming transition? 2 represents a choice. So Swords is thoughts again. So we're in the mental realm. Pay attention to those moments where you're indecisive, where you just can't make a choice. It's like, like you just feel stuck. Like, I don't know. Should I go right? No, I'll go left. No, maybe I will go right. No, maybe I'll go left. So during this transition, if you run into this feeling of indecisiveness, what I invite you to do, because this card also to me represents like blind faith, give yourself a moment to tune into your heart. So get out of your head and you can place your hand on your heart, and you can even do something as simple as, my heart says go left. My heart says and one way to get into the heart energy is to play the I love game, and that would be great to do with your little girl with Amethyst. You know, like, I love campfires, you know. I love being able to mow the lawn and not come across snakes. No, just lots and lots of love. Fantastic. All right, Elaine, great. I'm glad that makes sense. Hello, Miss Valerie. I'm so glad you're here, and you're welcome, Jane. Wonderful. And neat too. I will pull a card for you. Now, some of you gals, I've seen your names. You haven't asked for a card yet. So if you do want me to pull a card for you, just go ahead and pop that in. I have so much fun doing this with you. Okay, so neat too. I'm going to just tune into your energy, and I'm going to ask, what is the most important thing that Nitu knows right now? Okay. All right. Four of Cups. Beautiful. This is a fun card. Okay, so this is one of our first set of cups that we're getting. Cups represent emotion, intuition. And this guy is sitting by the tree and he's kind of like, right? He's focusing on these three cards and he's like, oh, that's not exactly what I want. And he's focusing on it and he's missing this incredible gift that's being offered to him from the heavens. It's kind of like, oh, you know what this reminds me of? There's a wonderful children's poet, Shel Silverstein, and there's a poem, Little Peggy Ann McKay, and little Peggy Ann McKay cannot go to school today. She's got the measles and the mumps, a gash, a rash, and purple bumps. I love that one. And she goes on and on about all of her ailments, right, to her parents, why she can't go to school. And then at the very end, she's like, oh, wait a second, right? That would be like, oh, I've got the measles, I've got the mumps, I don't know, this is no good. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh, wait a second, you say today is Saturday? What's that you say? Today is Saturday? Oh, goodbye, I'm going out to play. So neat too, there's somewhere in your life that you're being given an amazing, I'm trying to make sure that light doesn't reflect, an amazing opportunity, a gift, but your focus is kind of not honing in because you're just kind of focusing on maybe what's not pleasing your heart right now. So what I invite you to do is, instead of thinking of the grass is greener somewhere else, take a moment to pause and see what's being offered to you, what's right in front of you. And it's a matter of, again, knowing that you have free will, and these gifts that are being offered to us, we have to say yes. We have to open up to receive them. If we're like, and our hands are closed, we won't be able to hold on to the gift to receive it. So I hope that makes sense, neat too. All right, Deanna. All right, fantastic. I'll pull a card for you. All right, so I'm going to pull a card for the rest of the people who are on here. Anybody who jumps on after this will catch the next tarot party, or tarot party. It's like tomato. Okay, so Alyssa. So what's the best, most powerful way for you to bring your new project to the most people and help them the best? All right, fantastic. So yeah, definitely a lot in that question. I love how you phrased it. Awesome. Okay, so what is the best, most powerful way for you to bring your new project to the most people and help them the best? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of condense that information. Thanks, Valerie, for the love. Condense that question just a little bit so we can get more precise. Because again, with the cards, it's all about the question. It reminds me, like, if you ever read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and they're like, we found out the answer to the universe. It's 42. And they're like, all right, well, what was the question? So questions are really, really important. Okay, so best, most powerful way for you to bring your new project. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of put it at that, right? So what's the best way for you to bring your new project into being? Because then that'll cover all bases. So what's the best new way? What's the best, most powerful way for Alyssa to bring her new project into being? Ooh, I like this one. It's the Lover's card. Now, I love it because in the tarot, there are some cards that they call like the bad boys of the deck and the good guys. And you know what? Everything has a high vibrational energy and a low vibrational. Even the happiest, most sunniest card of the deck has its bad days and wakes up cranky, right? Like the happiest, most joyful card of the deck, the sun card, contentment, that can be kind of like a buster card every now and then when it pops up saying, you know what, you're being a little too cheery, Miss Pollyanna. Come back down to earth. So every card has its high frequency and its low frequency. And the Lover's card at its high frequency is saying, so, as you're tuning into the question, what's the best way for you to bring your new project into being, is to give people a choice. This card represents choice. It's Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden being watched over by a beautiful angel. So I love this card too, because when I learned this, my teacher, when I certified in tarot, she mentioned that this card for her represents like the God card, that this is a blessed project. It really has divine love and support stamped on it. You've got this divine guidance, angel, God, universe watching over you. And as you're bringing it into being, you're going to have to make choices. And when you make choices, it's important to know not to shortchange yourself or take shortcuts that aren't going to support you for the long haul. It might feel like you can get there a little bit faster and quicker, and maybe you do short term, but this would be like, so of course Adam and Eve, wanted that wisdom. They wanted that knowledge, and their choice was knowledge. So there are certain temptations that might come up that at first look great, but you realize, oh, that like where the path that leads down is not so great. So for example, it could be, let's say, you could get your information up really quickly okay, so here, I've got a friend who does bookkeeping. She's amazing. I work with her, Candy Conat, and she's like, it's great. Like, if you jump right into, you need to pay attention to like what bookkeeping software you jump into. Like if you jump into QuickBooks at the lowest like level, I can't remember what it's called, you actually really screw yourself over, because all of that stuff you enter, even though it's like $5 or $10 a month, will not transfer to their larger, more expensive version. You've got to hand enter everything in. But you made a choice because you're like, it's cheap, it's fast, I can do it right now. But it's a choice that has a cost coming that you're like, oh, that doesn't feel so good. That's kind of a pain in the butt now. So as you bring your project into being, make your choices kind of based on the long term, the long version, something that's really going to resonate and feel good to you as well as to the people that you're bringing in. All right, awesome. Okay, Valerie. So Valerie, where should you focus your energy for energy? Where should I focus my energy for energy returned? Oh, okay. So let's see. I'm trying to see if I understand that question right, Valerie. All right, so where should you focus your energy for energy returned? Okay, so yeah, so many choices, Alyssa, most definitely. So just as kind of a side note, when you're making those choices, that's kind of like the thing I go into in my intuitive energy adventure, like the different ways to help you make choices, to trust your intuition. Like, is this, to ask for signs? One would be, since you have such divine guidance over this project you're bringing in, to ask your angels, you start creating a communication with them where it's like, okay, am I on the right track with this? Like, I just need some guidance. It's kind of like when you're little and like you're reaching for the stove and it's hot and your mom or dad's like, no, hot, don't touch that. It's like you're reaching, you're doing something, you're like, angel, is this, is this the right track? And there are ways that you can set up communication, ways to do that. All right. So Valerie, I'm going to just see, oh, you love Hitchhiker's Guide. Yeah, that's so good. I love it too. All right. So Valerie, I'm going to pull a card for you, and I'm going to just say, what's the most important thing Valerie know about her question? Oh, you get 2 cards. Ooh, you got 2 cards. Oh, this is really fun. Okay. So the 2 cards that popped up, Ace of Pentacles and 5 of Pentacles upside down. Now, the Ace of Pentacles is an amazing gift that's being offered to you. I love how it's like, it could be an inheritance. It could be like winning the scratch lottery, right? It might not be the $1 million jackpot or billion or whatever it's up to. But this is like a gift of money coming your way and a shifting in your, and you asked about your energy returned. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my God, I've got goosebumps. So the energy, it's being gifted to you. Here's the thing. When we feel an energetic drain, especially because you're such a giver, I know you, Valerie, you give so much love and focus and energy to your clients. You're giving so much that, if you feel depleted, remember that to fill that depletion, to fill that energy drain, sometimes it feels like a hole of exhaustion. It's connection with the sacred. So this gift is coming from the heavens. It's divine. So taking time to feed your spirit and connect to things that really light you up. So, and this would be in a physical nature. I talk about creating a medicine bag in the intuitive energy adventure. This is like a collection of all the things that we go to when we're not feeling so hot. Because when we're not feeling so hot, we can't remember the movies that make us laugh, or the crystals that help calm the anxiety in the heart, or the songs that pick up our spirit, or, the environment that we need to be in to help clear our energy after a bad day in the office. So this is saying something physical around you that connects you to spirit. And it could be, I definitely do pick up, what's so interesting? I'm picking up snow for you. And I know you're in Chicago. Oh my God. But it's that feeling of like, oh, like this, like Superman's, right? Like the Fortress of Solitude, something physical, that crystal-like shape. That was the coolest thing to me when I saw Superman and those cool crystals that he was putting. Like this is the old Christopher Reeves when he was putting the crystals and he's getting out the different projected hologram images. So something with the physicality of Earth, with the connection, is going to shift the feeling of being at a loss and feeling like you're just losing the physical, the energy, it's resources, right? Which could be time, energy, money. So hopefully that makes sense. So how can you focus on your energy and the energy returned? It's feeding your spirit through the physicality of really what's universally made, like God made, like nature, right? I hope that makes sense. The crystals, the earth really comes through strongly. Okay, Deanna. All right, professional future. All right, cool. So Deanna, this is a great question. And this is kind of one of those questions where you want to be mindful, because so just even listen to like the tone and the energy, feel into it when I say this, when it's like, what is my professional future? When I say that, does it feel like it's like I'm waiting for the answer? It's almost like I'm giving, like I'm waiting, like, okay, what's my prize going to be, right? Like, what's my professional, like, tell me, what's it going to be? So it's giving your power away rather than empowering you. When you use something, this is what takes the scariness out of the cards, right? Because there's a great new movie on Netflix that I love with Amy Poehler. It's and I can't remember the name. I think it's like Wine Country. They go off for like this girls' party. They're 50, like celebrating somebody's 50th birthday. It's such a cute movie. I love it. And they get this tarot reader to come in. And man, oh man, she's scary. The way she reads the cards, I'm like, I wouldn't have read them like that. Oh my God. I love movies where they bring the cards in, because I'm like, ooh, let me look at the cards. What are they saying? But again, it'll be a little something different for me than it would be for the reader, right? Because this is my guide's way of communicating with me. And anyway, but she's really scary. It doesn't have to be that way. The cards are scary when you're like, oh, what's going to happen to me? Tell me. Is the world going to end? Oh no, the death card. Death card is a great card. It's a card of transition and transformation. You're leaving the old stuff behind. It's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's awesome, right? So again, every card has a high vibration and a low vibration. It just depends on what you're tuning into. Are you going to tune in at the high end like the Lovers, or you have this blessed divine union? It's the dream job, the dream, the job of your dreams. Or are you going to tune into the energy like, hey, I can get, like, I know a guy who sells some good TVs out of the back of his van. You want a deal? And then like you get the deal and you're like, oh, damn, this TV doesn't work. So it's really kind of silly and funny. So anyway, so rather than say, what is my professional future that's giving your power away? What I would invite you to do, what I'm being led to ask on your behalf is, what is my heart desire for my professional future? What is your heart desire? Okay, Deanna, because you know what your heart desires, then you can make that happen. And I can show you how. This is the stuff I go over in the Intuitive Energy Adventure. Okay, so what does your heart desire in your professional future? Oh, Seven of Pentacles popped up, right? So it's that opportunity to look back and say, wow, I've done some pretty amazing things. Look at everything that I've accomplished, right? And this is, what this really feels like is certifications. It's so much fun. I have certifications in so many things. It's something about getting that piece of paper. It's like, oh, I can frame it. I'll take that course. It has a certification. But there's something about it, right? It shifts the energy of what we're doing. So what you're looking for in your professional future is something that you can look back on and say, I've amassed a legacy. Like, I have really yielded an incredible crop. I've done something that's made a difference. I have it's not magnified, it's not multiplied. Thank you. Multiplied, right? It's like that old story in the Bible. It used to always stump me as a kid because I'd always hide like the money in the mattress. And it's like where the father gave the three sons money, right? And he's like, go out and, I've given you a certain like inheritance. I'm giving it to you early. And the first son goes out and he blows it, drinking, gambling and having fun. And then the second son goes out and he buries it in a hole in the earth. And then the third son goes out and he invests it and he multiplies his money. So what you're looking for from your professional future is an investment that's going to multiply your efforts, right? So what you put in, you're going to get magnified and multiplied back out. I hope that makes sense. Who knows? Maybe the financial industry. All right. Excellent. Woohoo! So many choices. So Valerie, you have so many ideas and work and want to do so. best thing for you to focus on now to be the best service and receive return. Beautiful. All right. So Alyssa, oh good. I'm glad. Thank you. My project's so important to you and has potential to chain live. Oh, thrilled that it says blessed. Oh, as you've been feeling. Yeah, Alyssa, major divine blessings on whatever you're working on. I'm excited for you. It's beautiful. Yay, Susie, you're here. Oh, glad you love that scene, Valerie. Wonderful. Yep, some of the scary cards are the most awesome. I agree. Oh, you're welcome, Deanna. Okay, so last question. Susie, you made it in just at the end. Wonderful. Okay, so Susie, you have a new business idea in your heart. Okay, however hesitant to put energy in it. Do you move forward with it? Fantastic. So yeah, so again, watch the way the phrasing of the question comes up, the energy in it. This is where it becomes apparent is probably the best way to say it. The difference between mindset work and energy work. It's beautiful to fold them together into harmony, because when we're just saying something, if we don't have the energy beneath it to support it, it falls flat. It's kind of like if you think about somebody saying, I'm the strongest person in the world, right? You're going to be like, sure you are. Maybe like, I'm the strongest person in the world, right? Like you get into that Superman stance. You put the energy behind it. Really, you buy into it. Right? You energetically support it and your subconscious is on board. So when it's like, do I move forward with it? It's kind of like, and I say it like that, like I'm exaggerating. So this is kind of like when I teach yoga. It's not that you're saying it like that, not at all, but I'm doing it like in this extreme so that it's more apparent the difference in the energy, right? So you can feel it. So it's giving your power away. It's saying, universe, what's going to happen to me? I'm here waiting. But rather to phrase it, you have this new business idea in your heart. Oh my God, I can feel the excitement around it. This is something, and just giving you kind of a reading without the cards, and I'll pull a card too, something that, yes, the hesitancy, where it's coming from is you need to play your cards close to your vest. I don't know if you've heard this phrase before, Susie, but this dream that you have in your heart, part of the hesitancy is coming from, and you can let me know if you're like, Irena, you were like so off track, whatever. But it could very well be coming from, what I'm picking up is that the hesitancy is coming from that there are people around you who might look at you and say, you want to do what? That's crazy. Who do you think you are to do? Like, do you have the training for who? Blah, 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 blah. All right. That's why there are certain dreams, like little seedlings. I have a beautiful little sunflower that I've started to grow. I know from past experience, if I plant my sunflower seeds outside in the garden, they will never make it, because the squirrels love sunflower seeds and they will eat them. So I would grow my sunflower seed inside until it was like maybe an inch high, and I would put it outside. You know what? It's still not ready to be shared with the world yet because the squirrels eat it. So then again, I wait until my plant is strong enough to sustain the onslaught of the squirrels, and not even like, they're like, whatever, I'm not interested in it now. It's too big. It doesn't taste good. And they leave it alone. So right now, this dream in your heart, Susie, the hesitancy that's really coming up is that there aren't believing eyes around you. So believing eyes are people who are going to be your champions and cheer you on. Be like, oh my God, that's an amazing idea. That would be so cool if you did that. Yeah, I could totally see you doing that. Yeah, that's awesome. So what I'm picking up is be very careful who you share this idea with, because it's not ready for everybody yet. The squirrels of the world, right, who just want to eat it and gobble it up. Play it close to your heart. Keep it close to you for a while. Let it ruminate. Let it stew. We're coming into the new moon. New moon's June 3rd. And the new moon is great for planting seeds, ideas that you want to nurture and grow. And you can nurture and grow it over the whole cycle of the moon, that beautiful window of new moon to full moon, that 2-week period. So that's something to play with. But I'm going to just... Okay, cool. So that makes sense, Susie. Great. Yes, so true. Wonderful. So I'm going to pull a card for you. See, but you don't even need the cards. The cards are just a tool. Again, it's like Dorothy trying to find her way home. She's just like, I can't figure it out right now. I'm kind of freaked out. I was just in the middle of a tornado. Now there are these munchkins, right? So it's that opportunity to say, I just need a friend. I need someone to lean on. I need a guy just to help me kind of settle and like calm so that I can breathe deeply and actually hear my guidance. That would be the moment that the cards are helpful, or me as an intuitive guide coming in and saying, oh, here's what I see. But I want to pull a card for you because that's that's why you're here. Okay, so what's the most important thing that Susie knows in regards to the dream that's in her heart? We're just going to ask a general question like that. What's the most important thing that she knows? Okay, Two of Pentacles. Where you're investing your time and your resources. So again, Pentacles represents resources. What are resources? Time, energy, money. It's the physicality. So watch that you're not investing your resources in a place that's not going to bring you back, like where you'd feel overstretched or out of balance. You're juggling too many things and it's too hard. Because there's ships being tossed up and down behind him. When he's upright, it's like, oh, you know what? You're doing a really great job of kind of juggling all the balls in the air, making sure that you're investing in a way that feels good to you and you feel strong and healthy and energetic. You don't feel overstretched in any one area. So when it comes to this dream in your heart, watch how you're investing your time and energy in it. So, there might be certain things that you want to do that just might take a lot of energy. And you're like, yeah, you know what? Maybe not this month, maybe next month. So that's something to play with. All right, so let me know how that feels. Okay, fantastic. So I am so glad that all of you guys came in tonight, that I was able. Hiya, Cindy. I don't know if I got a chance to say hi. Hi, Amanda. Wonderful to have you. Oh my gosh, I love, love, love that you came in. So if you didn't get a reading this time, definitely keep your eyes open. I love to do these tarot parties. I will be doing more. And there's an insane bonus that I'm offering for anybody who jumps into the Intuitive Energy Adventure program, which is a course that is my heart and soul's work, decades and decades worth of work. I've been really collecting for 30 years. I've been teaching this for over 20. All of these techniques and tools, from using the cards to the pendulums to the crystals, but in essence, to enable you to connect to your intuitive guidance so that you can make decisions in the right timing for you, so that you can find a balance in relationship between being in the world but not of the world. You stay connected to your spirit, keep it fed. So those who jump in get a free reading that's valued at $497. It's a private reading with me, and you can ask a much more in-depth question than you did tonight, because I can go into more for you with that. And then of course, you get all the goodness in the program, which is also $497. It's a steal right now. So yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer with the card reading. Let me know if you have any questions about the program or about tonight. Oh, you're welcome, Susie. It was wonderful to have you. And the link to the program is in the comments or the description above. I'll put it in the comments below. Have a great, great night, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye, guys.